University of Arizona Centers for Innovation and the company Isolcork. Isolcork is a company that graduated from IncubaUdeC's incubation program, and we are very proud for you, Mario, and your team. Today, we will learn how entrepreneurs and companies can access internationalization programs and opportunities within Arizona innovations ecosystems. Before we begin, please note this event is being recorded. We will have a question and answer session at the end. You can leave your question in the chat during the presentation or raise a hand and we can explain after the presentation. I would like to thank those joining us today. Anita Bell, director of the University of Arizona Center for Innovation. Welcome, Anita.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me to speak about our program.
Thank you. And Mario Palma, CEO and co-founder of Isolcork, who will share his experience as an alumnus of the Softlanding programs in the United States. Welcome, Mario.
Thank you, Beatriz, for your invitation. I'm very happy to be here.
Great. Thank you, Mario, too. And we now give the floor to Anita, who will talk about the opportunities Arizona offers international companies, Softlanding programs, and how to connect with the local ecosystems. Please go ahead, Anita, and you have 15 minutes to deliver your presentation.
All right, fantastic. And can you see the screen all right?
Excellent.
All right. So it's a pleasure to be here and talk about our program. As Beatriz mentioned, I am Anita Bell. I'm director here at University of Arizona Center for Innovation. And we are a traditional business incubator, and we are all about our program. So we started our incubation program in 2003. So we are over 20 years old, and we have been the continuously running incubator in the state of Arizona. We have supported directly over 300 companies now in our program, both from the US, from Arizona, and also from all over the world. And we have success in that our companies have success. So we measure and track the outcomes of the companies, and they have raised over $180 million in funding, and about a third, which is 47, maybe it's a quarter, $47 million came from grants, which the federal government is supporting. Our main focus is on three concepts. It's for people, place, and programming. So I'm going to talk about each of those a little bit more. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to put them in, I think we have Q&A after this. So I will just go explain everything, and then we can have more discussion afterwards. So we'll talk about our program. We actually developed a physical program map. So it is literally in like a piece of paper, and we also have it digitally available. And we have 28 items on there. And those are 28 items that we have learned that every company needs to go through in order to be successful. So we use this when we first bring companies into the program. They do a self-assessment, so we understand better what the knowledge base of the company is. So I know Mario and Pablo did this, so they did their check marks, and then it helped us better understand where their knowledge is and where we as the incubator support can provide additional support. And this then goes to the people. So every one of our companies is assigned a mentor in residence. We have 2 of them. We also have 4 subject matter experts. One is focused on finance and accounting. One is focused on communication and marketing. One is focused on bioscience because we have a lot of bioscience companies in our program. And one is focused on grants and non-dilutive funding. We also have our programmatic staff. So as mentioned, I'm director here. My job is to make sure that the companies have access to the resources they need in order to be successful. We also have an intern program, so we hire 2 to 3 students every semester from the University of Arizona, and then the companies can utilize the services to do market research. We also have a very large network of other entrepreneurs that we know. We have community resources. We have good relations to investors, and we also have municipalities, which is the cities and counties and towns around here that sponsor some of our companies. And that just is because we've been here for so long. We have built out a really great network that can support companies at every levels. We do have our Global Advantage program. So that's really what fuels, we call it, it fuels our soft landings program. That was established several years ago, and there's a little bit of funding there. We are also part of IncubaUdeC, that's the International Business Innovation Association. It is an association, an organization where incubators and accelerators can be members, and so they provide a lot of resources, and we are a designated soft landings program through the IncubaUdeC, so we were able to get that certification. So as mentioned earlier, we do have that certification. We also have participated in what's called the GIS program. That's the Global Innovations Through Science and Technology program that was funded by the US State Department. And so we had companies from all over the world come to us in our program. Physically, they were here for 5 weeks to participate in our incubation program and be here in Tucson. So we now combine a lot of our virtual capabilities with our in-person resources. And I know Mario will talk a little bit more about his experience, but I will talk about it a little bit more broader. So our phase 1, when we work with international companies, is really just meeting them, understanding what they're looking for. We prefer to work with companies that already have success in their home country. So already they have sales and brought their innovation into the market in their home country. And then we onboard them into our program, which is fully virtual. So we like to work with the company virtually before they actually come to Tucson in person. So this is the phase 1. The phase 2 then is the in-person experience. So because we have the Global Advantage program, who has a little bit of money, we can fund for the entrepreneurs, the business owners, come to Tucson for 1 or 2 weeks, or when we had the GIST experience, it was 5 weeks, to really be boots on the ground, to come to our community, to be fully immersed, and to meet with our stakeholders here. So we have our partners, we have community people, and have really the full experience. And I think Mario and Pablo also went shopping, right? We told you where you can go shopping for Tucson things, sightseeing. But of course, most of the focus is on the business experience. And then the phase 3 is where, the companies really go back home to their home country to work through all the experiences they've had, follow up on the connections they've made in order to determine if Tucson is a good fit for them. Maybe it's another state, but really, the idea is not that you pull up all your roots and you move to the US and hope for the best. It's really to be very thoughtful about it, already make connection so you can leverage that before you make a decision to really get into the US market. Here's an example of companies that we have worked with. So, you are there on the little map here. And then also the blue dots represent companies that actually then moved to Tucson to establish a business here in the US. And we also do that like within the US, because the US is more like 50 countries altogether in one place. So we also have companies that move from other states within the US to Tucson. And in conclusion, the global advantage is really about figuring out market access, seeing if the product development needs to have different things that you do in your home country, figuring out if there is manufacturing access, and I know Mario will talk about it. So manufacturing in the US was not so good for them, but near, so in Mexico. So it's really, figuring out what is best for the company. And then most of all, of course, the business development. So we have our local partners in the Global Advantage program, include Cushman & Wakefield, which is a real estate company. Of course, the Tech Parks Arizona, where the incubator is located, Tetakavi, which is a nearshoring organization that has locations in Sonora, which is near the border in Mexico, near the border to the US, where they have operations, and it's often a good idea to have the operations in Sonora and then have products in the US. And then TP, our local utility for electric power, is a sponsor of this program. Some of our international companies include, where's Isolcork? Right there, you're right here, big one. But we also have companies from Guatemala, from Taiwan, from Jordan, Germany, several from Mexico, because of course the proximity, a couple from Canada because of the proximity. So we really work with a whole bunch of different companies, and all of you want to be successful in the US. So we try to leverage that. And that's just me. So you can contact me if you have any questions. And I did not keep track of time, but I feel like I did not use the whole 10 minutes. So I will turn it over to Mario.
Thanks, Anita. Excellent in your time. Thank you for all. It's very interesting how you developed your Softlanding program. I'm sure we'll have questions at the end to make the most of this session.
Perfect.
And now we invite Mario Palma, CEO and co-founder of Isolcork. It's a bio company here in Chile, and to tell us about his internationalization process and the lessons learned in Arizona. Please go ahead, Mario.
Okay, thank you, Beatriz, for your invitation. Thank you, Anita, for your willingness as well to participate today. So, yeah, let's explain a little bit and introduce ourselves, what we do. We are Isolcork. Can you see the presentation, right?
Yes, it's not full screen here.
Yeah.
It's okay now.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, I will just introduce a short our company, where we start more than 10 years ago, something like this. We are a company from Concepcion, and we are just focused to develop sustainable solutions for the construction industry using the natural and recycled raw materials to use it later in the construction, but in a way efficient. We have been supported by IncubaUdeC since our beginnings by government grant. So yeah, and today we are present in different countries. We start in Latin America, then we jump to US, where we are today in Arizona, where is our main market, Texas, Europe, especially north of Europe, and Middle East, that we just start, to introduce our technology. All our product has been certified on these different markets, just roughly. But our main solution, just to be in context, is the spray cork. It's a superior exterior coating. It's based on cork, this material from the tree. And we take all this raw material after a R&D process. We manufacture a coating, and this coating you can apply outside of the houses. And the main purpose is to give you at least 10 years of durability. You can reduce 3 times less the maintenance cost, and the most important, you can reduce as well the energy cost, around 20%. Everything is coming from a friendly raw material. Yeah, this product is coming in a packet. You can apply sprayable on different kind of surfaces and colors, as you can see here in the photos. These photos are all in Arizona. But why Arizona? Yeah, because as Anita mentioned, the United States is 22 states, and each state is a different story, is a different country. So we needed to know in which of them we have to be focused and to put all our effort. So the main purpose for us was find, similarities. Yeah, similarities in the construction way. So we see that around the 90% of stucco, just to be in context, stucco is like a martelina in Chile. So we see around 95% of. It's okay? Yeah. 95% of stucco, it was in this state. So, and this finishing, it was just for, finish purpose. Yeah. Nothing else. So we see a big opportunity over there. This was the main purpose. The second thing was we had our first customer as well in there. So we started to see an excellent result. This was around 2020. And Arizona as well had different cities, but we were focusing Tucson. Yeah, Tucson in the south of the state is very near as well from the border to Mexico, around 3 hours, something like this. So it was quite interesting as well a strategy to see our expansion later. Yeah? And our product was certified as well by local laboratories. So we start slowly to have a participation. But also we see that as Anita mentioned, there is a manufacturing infrastructure very attractive because as there is in the border, there are many factories, who works on this area. So it's very often to see, services related. So as our product is a manufacturer, it's a physical one. So we see as well a very good, connection for that. And also there is one thing is very important to mention that we see similarities between Concepcion and Tucson because of the university, city. Tucson is a university city. Everything as well is involved to University of Arizona. And it's something similar than Concepcion with Universidad de Concepcion. So as we start here, we see an opportunity there to start with an accelerator, focus on to expand our product. So that way, when we know the USCI, it was a perfect combination, I think so, yeah. But how we arrive in the Center for Innovation, USCI? First, we arrived with a referral connection from the IncubaUdeC, yeah, with the NatLo Center in Arizona. They came to Concepcion to make I think so properties, I think so courses, something like this, and I had the contact over there through IncubaUdeC. So after that, they introduced me to Anita and to the UACI. And after a panel selection, of course, we passed all this process and we were the first Chilean company selected to start this program. And what we can talk about this program during this time, well, has been, I think so, involved in 3 main benefits. The main is the mentoring, as Anita mentioned. The main challenge for us, it was to adapt our value proposition to the Arizona market. Yeah, it's not the same, sell the same product in everywhere. We see that we have to adapt that. So this mentoring residents who is with you all the time was very, very profitable for us. Yeah. After that, you have also 5 mentors in different subjects. as mentioned as well, Anita, in strategic, in accountability, in financial area, in marketing, bioscience. So we could have different as well point of view of our product and our idea and solution, and between all of us to potential and to help to develop the product in there. So we feel always supported on this process. The second point is the pit stop, that every week, especially on Friday, they have a different subject and matter that they talk. They invite as well expert. So they learn you how to open a company until how you can, raise fund, with American investors. So it's really, really interesting as well to follow up all these sessions. The third point, it was our immersion program that I had the chance to participate during 2 weeks. We try to do in a short time, but usually it's until 5 weeks, but we do in 2 weeks. It was a really nice experience that you can also connect with different players in the ecosystem in Tucson. They are very as well open to receive you and to know what you are doing. So these 2 weeks, we participate in different kind of activities as well, networking, and especially work as well with the mentoring residents to continue adapting your value proposition to the market. After all this time, we have some highlights that is really interesting as well to share with you. But our value proposition finally could be adapted to Arizona market regarding the other solutions. So we know as well what we are offering now. After that, you can adapt your strategy. You can even work in your marketing, as well, document, papers, brochures, how you will communicate it. So it's really, really, really interesting how from this point you can start as well to expand all your participation. Our company is already established in Tucson, Arizona. Well, in practical terms, we have a bank account, of course, and a counter. We move everything over there. We could have as well connection with potential customers that we are today in conversation with the city of Tucson. City of Tucson is like a gobierno regional that they manage different buildings in the city. So we are now advancing in this process, and why not in the near future to start to use our spray core as well on these buildings. So we are now in this process. We could have more visibility on different kind of networkings as well. The UACI is connected with Tech Park, where it's a big area with different kind of research. So we could have connection with them. We appear on the social media of them. So it was really, really interesting. So they give you more visibility, validation, and also feedback what you are doing. So it's very important. As well, we continue our R&D with local supplies. Yeah, our idea is to be more adapted, and maybe why not to as well improve or develop a new product. One of the things that we like it, we love it, it was the pilot demonstration in the tech park of the UA. We paint one main entrance near to a big cactus. I will show you a photo, but it was as well how they could as well support you, that you could be successful in the market. Also, we just 2 months ago, finally, after our research, we decided to open our first operation abroad of Chile. It was in Hermosillo, Sonora. It's very near as well from Tucson. It's around, total time was 4 hours, something like this. But it was after our all evaluation of cost and everything. But for us, it was very important to take this decision after make the program. And also we see a big opportunity for other Chilean companies to introduce to US through Arizona on different kind of subject. Arizona is very hard strong in mining, robotics, bioscience, I also, and you can as well, not just product physically, if not the application, digital, something like this. You can see here our entrance with cork, how it was before, Staco, and then we after applied the spray cork, and we really appreciate as well, we could put a plaque where in there appear that this product is coming from Chile, is a natural material, and the USCI is supporting this startup, to introduce, expand the business in the US. So really, really appreciate it. But also we have the same story in Chile. I will tell you, Anita, it was 10 years ago, and IncubaUdeC as well. Use the same, then still now you can see the spray cord after 10 years is still the same. So for us, it's a really like a important disconnection as well today, that that there is some similarities as well in this. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. If you have any doubt, any question, I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Mario, it's very interesting your presentation 10 years ago. I can't believe it how the time is very fast, I think. I don't know,
Right.
what do you think? Yeah.
Incredible, huh?
Yes, yes. Well, thank you both for your presentations. We will now open the floor for questions. You might write them in the chat or raise your hand to speak. No problem, in English or in Spanish. Da lo mismo. Acá lo importante es que podamos explicar nuestras dudas, no perder esta oportunidad y aprovechar que estamos con Anita y Mario, quienes nos pueden ayudar. Only I ask the entrepreneur that they maybe have some question in Spanish. Mario and me could maybe translate for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Tenemos una pregunta. Rodrigo.
Hi, Anita.
Hi.
I have two questions, one for Anita and one for Mario. Briefly, let me introduce, I am developing a service around irrigation in urban areas. So I was doing some research about this opportunity in Arizona. It's like going to Israel, basically, kind of a dry weather. And I'm wondering, my first question is how you evaluate, or if you can clarify to me what are the considerations to take to approve or accept a company into the program. So that will be, you mentioned 3 phases, but it was not clear. Where I can nominate myself, if that makes sense. And what kind of companies you normally accept them?
Yeah, great question. So for our US-based, US-focused program, we really focus on deep science and technology companies. So that is really where we can provide the most resources. For our international program, it can be really focused on market entrance. It still needs to be technology or innovation focused. But it's usually we meet with the founder or the entrepreneur and really talk about what we think we can provide value for. And so, we get an application, we would meet with you and then really discuss of how we could be providing benefit. And when I hear, and you're very, very right, in Arizona, the conditions is very similar to Israel. So we have also good connections to Israeli companies. And then we also want to make sure that you already have sales in your home country, because starting a new company in a foreign country is really, really hard. And we've not seen a lot of success. So we already discourage you from doing that if you don't already have, resources in the country. And then we are very, very open to many different things, because we are not very deep in our technology. what we do is we provide the opportunity for you to explore. So, and again, soft landing, instead of you renting an office, setting up an account, hiring people in the US, spending all this money, and you don't know if there's an opportunity for the product. We rather, participate in this program and explore, with the connections. So you don't have to rent office and all those things. We do, I did not mention, we do charge a fee, is $285 a month for the service. But that includes you come here, you have office space to work out of, we connect and all those things. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you, Anita.
Yes.
And I have a question to Mario. I mean, congratulations. Looks like you're having a fun time and very productive, by the way. So you're making I mean, at least for the very short thing you show, it sounds amazing. And I'm curious to know, at what stage do you decide to start to do this soft landing in Arizona? I mean, what size of your company you have, and at what stage basically are now looking, I mean, complementing the fact that Anita mentioned that you have to have local sales and operations. So how big are, I mean, operations to start thinking moving into the US or going through this experience?
Okay, thank you, Rodrigo. Yeah, in our case, it was after the first sales in the US, after the laboratory test it was tested our product. We decided in that moment to do something more sustainable there, not just selling. So we think that the best way it was through accelerators, through a university who can be with you on this process. So the point it was where and who, But I think so we took the best decision because finally we established over there. But it was after a validation, yeah, because as well you have more like in our case you have more material to give to the mentoring residents, and all the marketing purpose and development as well as strategy. But it was on that process. Mm-hmm.
But so because I mean, I'm not sure you are the only founder. You have other, I mean, partners in the company that you have to attend, or you have to invest your time to going into this program.
Yeah, actually, at the beginning was like this. We invest, of course, on this program. As Anita mentioned, is a very accessible, fee per month, so you can as well access to different mentoring, information, but also this soft landing, the immersion program that as well they have to select it which company, and it's depend when it's open as well, the program. So we were invited to pass over there, and it was a cohort, it was like una beca, okay.
Yeah, a
So
grant.
so that was so great, and that we also had the experience to share with another startup there from Mexico. So we passed all this process together. It was really, really interesting as well for both of us. But at the beginning, we make with our own resource. We are two co-founder. After a big story, we had as well a CVC in the past, but later we bought his share, but we became again. This is our experience.
And Mario, I think you have sales in Latin America, right? You have sales in Chile and other countries?
Yeah, we were already with experience for more than 8 years at that time. We were Chile was validated the technology. We were in Colombia, in Mexico already. We started before. So we think that we arrived with the product mature, and that we passed for all like I think previous mature market until when we jumped to US, we already knows much better our product, and when we start as well to make our test in laboratory, we start to see better results even than in Chile. So it was, wow, really interesting. Why not to, to see what more we can find. But one thing is very important as well, that one wrong step in the United States costs a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. So you have to go slowly with this kind of, programs is much better, to understand the market.
Another question here in the audience. I have two questions for you, Anita. Only two. Now is the moment, I think. Okay, what are the key challenges for your Softlanding program in the year ahead?
Say it again.
What is the key talent of your Softlanding program in the years ahead? For example, the next year, what is your talent, your interesting, what kind of the company or I don't know, kind of industry?
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting because I'm sure you are listening to the world news in the US. So, there's a lot of changes at the higher level administration right now. So we are also trying to sort out how we can be still supportive to the companies and help them. But I think there is still great opportunities. And I also want to say, for example, some of the companies, when they want to enter the US, they think California or New York, but that's even more expensive. It's already expensive. And here in Tucson, because we're a smaller community, we roll out the red carpet for the companies, and we're able to make a meeting with the mayor of the city, for the company. And so I am looking forward to continuing this program, and I think we still have the opportunity, despite maybe what is going on at the federal level, to help international companies to enter here and explore. So we are, I love Chile and I want to go. I've been invited, so. But I know one major area that, or major industry that the Arizona is looking at is semiconductors, because Arizona got a huge grant and opportunity to have semiconductor facilities here in Arizona. But then also mining is still going to be bigger coming up. And then bio industry is always, has been for a long time. And I know, again, you don't think of Tucson for bio industry. You think, San Diego and Boston and all this. But we have a great industry in biosciences here. And again, there's just a lot of more easy access to support, because it's not as overcrowded as other places. And that is also something that the state is encouraging. So, for example, we have 53 companies in our program right now. And out of those, 45%, of 30 companies are in bioscience, life science, healthcare, medical devices. So that's a really big focus that we are working on.
Oh, very interesting. When could a startup apply the next year?
Oh, it's on our website, uaci.com. Very easy.
Okay, no problem. Yes, we are looking for.
So uaci.com. And also, I want to make sure to say it's not cohort based. So we can take a company anytime, at any time. But then when we have, for example, what happened with Mario, when they came into the program, we also had another company from Mexico. And then we had, the opportunity to say, okay, we have a little bit of money to bring them to Tucson together. And we try to bring 2 or 3 together, because then they learn from each other too. You know, it's not just us saying, well. It's they also, right, Mario, you and Paulina, you were talking and comparing and really getting a much richer opportunity. So that is why we like to have a cohort of at least 2. We like to have 3 or 4, so depending on how this works out. So that is a little bit organic, just because, you know, we don't have hundreds of companies all the time. You know, it's a few dozen. So we're very customized in that regard.
Oh, great.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, of course. Yes. Hello. Let me see here in the chat. Okay. A 3 question for Anita. The first one. What is the best recommendation for apply for this program? We have a MVP in a TRL 7.
Mm-hmm.
The only first question. What is the best recommendation for apply this program?
Yeah, so again, it really would be, you know, great if you had sales in your home country already. If you're still in the MVP stage, we would really want to have a larger discussion and deeper discussion to understand what your intention is, how it compares to what is in the US market already. Because what we found also is, you know, if there's an option between in the US market and outside the US market, US companies will go for the US product, right? Even if it's similar. So the product has to be a lot better to do this, or already be ready to be utilized right away. So, but I'm happy to have an individual discussion just to better understand where you are. And then what are the requirements to apply? Anybody can apply. So there's no fee to apply. We love talking. We love helping entrepreneurs be successful. So worst cases, you apply and we say, you're too early, we can't help you. You're too far, we can't help you. But here's some other resources for you to look at. We always want to make sure, you know, because we're not the only incubator in the world, not in the US, so not in Arizona. So there's always other resources. And then what is the principle needed in Arizona? So I traveled, remember, water for spaces, agriculture. Yeah, so water is still a big deal. So yeah, I know this one gentleman talked about irrigation, but because it's also a big need, a lot of work is being done here. And then, as I mentioned, semiconductor is really big. Biotech, you know, we're doing a lot of work in that area. Mining is interesting, but Arizona has a lot of copper mining. Arizona produces about 70% of the US market in copper. So we have a lot of copper mines, and there's always needs for additional innovations and making it safer, cleaner. You know, that's usually the focus for the mining. And then also space is a thing. And then, as Mario mentioned, AI, of course, everywhere. AI, you know, every AI in medical, AI in mining, AI in, you know, everything. So that's big. But again, you know, it's also pretty competitive, you know, in that area, because like everybody's doing it right now. Does that help, Beltran?
Yes,
Oh, no,
it's okay.
Camila.
Yes,
I got the wrong name wrong.
Camila is the CEO of Permacultura Tech. It's a startup here. Yes. Okay, Mario, I have a question for you. What advice would you give a startup looking to start its international expansion? What is your advice?
Well, I think is to choose very well if you are doing in the US market or everywhere.
I think in everywhere, because your company is in another places too, and I think your step by step, it was very interesting in your learning experience, for example.
Yeah, actually, for us to be, for instance, to establish us in the US, it was like a very good idea. Why? Because after you have an office in the US, from another part of the world, they contact you as American company. Yeah, this is our first like a connection with, not just in Latin America. Latin America, probably Chile is fine. Yeah, because we are very well like how do you say, reputation. Okay, in Chile, yeah, it's like this, Anita. And but in another part of the world, I think so, US could be a very good and a strategy point, to expand. Once we have our office in the US, we will start to be connected from Europe, and we start our operation in Europe. And after the experience in Europe, we jumped to Middle East, but it was like this. And if we are focused more now on the US market, is to find the correct state, to develop. Because, yeah, of course, 1 month in US is very expensive. So you need to know how um, to put your state in there. Sometimes our companies, incredible, but they expend all, budget in the first month. And after that, they say, no, this is not the correct market. But no, it's just needed more time, it is like this. This market has very good opportunities in different areas, but you need to understand as well the culture as well, the ecosystem, and after that, yeah, you go slowly. But well, if you have any question as well, I'm very open and free. I can give as well my contact details here, but I'm really happy to as well to share my experience.
Thank you, Mario. Francisco, do you have a question?
Yes. Thank you, Anita, Mario, for your presentation. Very clear. Mario, a question for you. How hard was to close your first deal or sale in the US? And you produce your solution in the US, or you produce in Chile and export to other countries?
Yeah, actually, we start exporting. Yeah, all our sales in the US has been imported in the US, exported from Chile during these 5 years, I think so. We started in 2020. But we start with one pallet, then one container, but everything exported. But now, yeah, as I mentioned, 2 months ago, we start with our first operation abroad of Chile, is in north of Mexico. So we will start to be more connected in there. So we are now knowing this process, but our idea is just is go more to the B2C, because we're gonna have more, adaptability with the stock. Because before it was one container, one distributor, you have to find one. It's not so easy. So now we have like a more space, to drive, this situation. Yeah. But at beginning, when we start as well selling by internet in Amazon. Yeah, that I could mention as well. We start to sell in Amazon. We send a pallet, to Amazon warehouse in Miami, and there they start to offer, on the website. But we could have, the track where who is the buyer. For us it was really complicated to follow up. We didn't know what the people do with the product. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So finally, for that reason, we got a good customer in Arizona, and we decided to be focused on B2B on that time. He has made a excellent job. He has already 20 projects in Tucson. And yeah, today is a presentation for us for everywhere when we are going. One thing more. Sorry.
Okay.
No,
That
one
was
thing more.
a developer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And this developer, but he is already an applicator. He has an application company, you know, to make these jobs. He also start to be part our networking, not just in US. We start to work with him, you know, to offer technical support in Europe or technical support in Mexico. Yeah. So yeah, this start to be like a vision, because you know when you work with innovation, there are not too many people who are involved. So you need, when you find someone who believe in your idea, the idea is to concentrate and to, you know, start to work together. So yeah, this has been a very good experience, well, to share.
Thanks for your question, Francisco. And now we need to finish. And we thank Anita and Mario for sharing their experience and insights. And all of you for joining us is very important, because remember, you can stay connected with IncubaUdeC for more information on internationalization programs. And Anita, thank you very much. Mario, thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you at future events, and have an excellent afternoon both.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure too. Thanks so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Have a good afternoon. Have a good day.
Yes, Anita.
Yeah. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.